You know Sean Evans?
Oh, I was going to ask you about this, bro.
It wasn't him. He's not the one who took the cum to his face.
I know, but I see this online. I follow you.
You're like, this is the guy that I'm doing a podcast.
No.
Week.
I'm well aware of you, dude. I mean, we've talked in the past and all that shit, and I've also done hot ones. So I see this thing yesterday. I think that you tweet. Her pussy's fire.
Congrats, Sean. Yeah. Her pussy is fire emoji.
Okay, so I look at this, and I've seen a lot of shit. I go, whoa, right? What do they know? And now my mind is like, do they know each other? Do they have a beef, or is this all WWE? Then today I see you post a thing on Instagram about him. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm going to ask him about this.
Right.
And I'm so glad you brought it up because we were...
So, okay. I'm at the porn convention like a month ago.
Yeah.
And this girl, Melissa Stratton, I've filmed porn with her and my wife like at least 3 times.
Okay.
So I've already got this whole thing going on with her or whatever. And I don't want to reveal the exact details of her relationship, but I've always known her to be someone who had a guy in her life. She's doing porn anyway. Yeah. She's got a guy who's holding her down to some extent, whatever. During the Super Bowl weekend, I'm in Puerto Rico with my girl. She says to me at one point, she says, have you seen Melissa's story? And I'm like, no, what? She's like, she's hanging out with Sean Evans, like hardcore. She's like tagging him. She's in the section at the club with him. She's really kicking it with him. I don't know if they're dating or what. But my girl also pointed out, she looks at Sean's story. He's not posting her. He's not tagging her. Okay. Which, as the guy who has like the largest show to have emerged from Complex, and someone who interviews all these like extremely, extremely famous people or whatever, him being seen with a porn star is a little bit of a interesting look.
I see. Okay, sure. Yeah.
When, he just had fucking Sydney Sweeney on. He's got all the top stars. To that kind of person, being seen as dating a porn star is, it's a little interesting, right? Anyway, it comes out, 2 days ago, like you said, or 1 day ago, it comes out like TMZ posts like, oh, they are dating. Right. They said, hey, they are dating. And I'm like, in my head, me knowing her to have a dude, I'm thinking, no, they're fucking not. I don't believe it at all. I think they were just kicking it. They were probably fucking because from what I know, the situation that she's in allows her to be fucking with other guys. Right. But in terms of like a serious long-term relationship, from my perspective, no.
So you're saying just already has a guy?
From what I know.
From what you understand. Okay.
And so I actually message her because as soon as I see this post about them being in a relationship, I think to myself, oh my God, this is so good. All I got to do is quote tweet this and say, congrats, Sean. Her pussy is fire. I knew immediately that I wanted to say that. But being that I'm in the porn business with my wife, and my wife has a sense of humor that is like normal, like rational, normal human being, I think, I don't want to piss my girl off. So I message Melissa and I say, hey, do you care if I do this quote tweet? Because I think it'll be really funny, even though it's a little offensive. She goes, oh my God, I love it. That's fucking hilarious. Doesn't reveal whether she's actually in a relationship with him or not, but tells me that she thinks it would be fucking funny. So I post it. It goes crazy. People freaking the fuck out about the fact that I said it. You checked with your girl
too, right?
I mentioned it to her. Okay, but ultimately I knew that she would be cool with it if Melissa was cool with it. Then I wake up today and I see that they've apparently split if they ever were together.
Right. Okay. So that's the thing I didn't get. So you didn't know. So they were together. In
my mind, there was no chance that they are actually with each other in any kind of romantic sense. Yes, maybe they kicked it for Super Bowl weekend, but in my mind, there's no fucking way.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you post this, then it becomes more viral, and then they break up, I guess.
If they were actually ever together, yes. It is possible that this is all WWE, and that Sean Evans and her have had a conversation about this, and they knew that this was going to be presented as if they were dating. I don't know. Maybe they actually were dating, though. Like maybe the terms of whatever relationship she's in allow for her to have full-on relationships with other guys. I don't know, because every different porn couple has totally different rules.
So what about how that you know Sean?
I know Sean because probably 7 years ago, he was like, hey, I'm in town. What do you got going on? And I said, oh, yeah, you want to do something? Let's go get dinner or whatever. Yeah. So I go out to dinner with him for like an hour. Never shot my shot about being on Hot Ones and never tried to have him on here. I probably should have back then,
Right.
but I spent like an hour having a conversation with him.
Okay, so you didn't say, "Hey, I'm going to write this to him."
I did not tell him.
Got it. And he didn't respond, right?
No, he has been totally silent on all of it, which is not that surprising to me because
Yeah, I would think he wouldn't.
if you're someone in that
Yeah, in
position,
that world,
being
yeah.
in a relationship with any kind of porn star, I've seen it over and over and over.
Right.
It just instantly becomes so controversial. Everybody wants to fucking talk about it. Everybody is so fascinated by the idea of a guy being willing to date a porn star.
yeah.
I could tell you from my experience exactly what Sean was in for if this was in fact a real relationship,
Right.
and if they did in fact have it for a long period of time and not one day.
Is there a chance, I haven't seen these photos, is there a chance that he didn't want them out in the first place and that she just released them for her own personal gain?
If she was posting him, yeah,
Well, she was
maybe.
posting him like crazy on her story and
Well, he
tagging them,
definitely
and then
knew.
meanwhile he wasn't doing anything like that. He wasn't
Yeah.
tagging her at all.
Yeah, that would be, depending on your brand, that could be annoying. I mean, I wouldn't give a fuck.
If you're Sean Evans, you've got great shit, tons of money making opportunities going on with all this, but
Yeah.
meanwhile the world doesn't really know that much about you, right? On average,
Right,
I assume
right,
he's probably
right.
done podcasts where you could learn more about him, but from my perspective, he's kind of got the sweet spot as an entertainer where he's got a whole good thing going on. He's making a bunch of money. He's got all these different partnerships, whatever. But meanwhile, the world, it's not dependent on
your image.
him.
Sure.
All he has to do is just keep his image kind of cool and keep getting these massive fucking interviews.
Yeah.
Good position to be in.
Yeah.
As soon as you start dating a porn star,
Too stressful though.
the waters get a little muddy.
It's
Yeah.
too stressful. You gotta like
Also, can you just-
if I think the best like the ultimate version of that is like The Rock. You look at The Rock.
Right.
I mean, if he says I'm gonna vote for this president, half of the people are like, well, I'm not with The Rock anymore. Like that's my nightmare. To like I have podcasts, I go out, I do my thing, I do stand up, I talk about shit, like it's my nightmare to be seen as somebody who is not opinionated and like The Rock, everything is, everyone's great and this and that. And it's like, I hate that shit. Like, this is why I'm shocked that like late night shows still exist. Like you sit on the
Barely.
couch, like, no, I know, but they're there. Like Elijah Wood is going to go on Stephen Colbert and talk about Jennifer Garner and people, and it's bullshit. Elijah's going to be like, she's amazing. They could fucking hate each other. And you could be like, it was amazing. I'm so glad to have that opportunity. And there's podcasts where people are like, I'm not gay, but I put my dick with another dude and fuck the chick. Like you're gonna watch Jimmy Kimmel?
Right.
It blows my mind.
Yeah.
Who's watching it? Like your dad, okay, I get it. Dad's okay.
Right.
But
people who have been indoctrinated into this over the
Yeah.
years, I never even really got going with watching the like late night hosts because realistically, I became 18 in like 2002.
Yeah,
so I could already go online. I
Yeah.
could already learn about
Yeah.
different bands,
Crazy
and
to
graffiti and BMX and skateboard, all this stuff that I was really into. I didn't have to go full monoculture with it